Earlier, we told you about a letter that was sent home to parents in Federal Way, warning them of a spike in teen drinking since the liquor laws changed in the state, allowing liquor to be sold in grocery stores. And joining us now with some perspective is Dr. Gregory Jantz. He is the founder of the Center for Counseling and Health Resources and an expert on so many things, but specifically a lot of youth issues. Thank you so much for being here.
We're seeing some frightening trends, actually.
Yes, and do you think that this new law is a direct result in the spike that the schools are seeing in Federal Way and in other places?
Absolutely. We're seeing more accessibility. It's a lot easier now to hang in front of a grocery store and ask somebody to buy alcohol. There's more grocery stores to hang out than liquor stores, and that's happening more often.
I want to paint a few scenarios for you and see how parents should react. First, this is a very real one. They get a letter home in Federal Way saying, we suspect there is alcohol in the schools, kids are bringing it in their backpacks, we're searching the lockers. What's your next step as a parent when you get that note?
Well, first of all, we need to know about 40% of 12th graders have actually had alcohol in the last 30 days. So we just need to know, okay, this is going on.
What was the percentage?
40% of 12th graders have admitted in the last 30 days. Well, the first thing you want to do is be careful. We don't want to shame our kid into, what are you doing? Who are you hanging out with? Let's talk about it. And let's talk about it by just saying, is this something that you're doing? And it's okay to ask that. Do you have friends that are drinking? Where is it happening? Not that we're going to shame them into feeling bad about it, but we want to keep an openness about it. The important part is, if we get too angry, we drive it more and more secret, and we want to keep open about it.
What if they're still resistant when you try to have that conversation? What if they deny it and you know, I know you've tried it. What do you do then?
Well, actually, I'm going to also look for a pattern. If I'm seeing a pattern of behaviors that indicate either alcohol or substance abuse, there's going to come a day that I'm going to have it checked. There's going to come a day that they're going to have a UA, a urine analysis. We're going to go have some things checked out. I need to know what's really true, particularly if we've seen a real change in personality, depression, maybe more isolation. And you know these things when you see it in your kid.
Scenario 2, you know they've been doing it. You've either found it, you've smelled it, whatever the case may be, and you've warned them. Then what do you do?
Well, there are natural consequences. First of all, the one natural consequence is, I understand that so many kids are doing it, but it's still against the law. You're not old enough. Okay, so you need to decide what is the natural consequences. All right, the other thing is, and we've always got to do this in a way that it's a natural consequence. It's not that I'm going to be continually mad and angry at them, but I want them also to know that I'm on it. And we're going to talk about this. It's not a one-time talk. And we really need to also understand, what are we communicating about alcohol and drugs as a family? Is it something that we don't have good family values around? What are we communicating as a family?
Let's talk about the dangers briefly for about 30 seconds, about the risks, the health risks with underage drinking.
Well, underage drinkers typically binge drink. And what we're finding is they're doing it in very creative ways, soaking gummy bears in alcohol. They're finding ways to deliver alcohol in the body in a very fast way. The goal is to get drunk quickly. That's the goal. 90% of the kids that drink alcohol fit more in the category of binge drinking. The dangers is, it can actually do frontal brain damage, frontal lobe damage, in high toxicities. So there are consequences physically.
Yeah, and we've seen it result in death. I mean, not to beat around the bush here, but I mean, it can be deadly.
Can result in death.
They don't know what they're doing. They're young. There's a reason they're teens. Their brains are still developing. Important information, Dr. Jantz. Is always great to see you.
Good to see you. Yes.